we are going to study in detail what are the different life process happens in human body. The first one, nutrition. So we all know, as per nutrition, the organisms can categorized into autotrophs and heterotrophs. What are autotrophs? All green plants are called as autotrophs. All green plants are autotrophs because they can synthesize their own food by the process called photosynthesis. Other than green plants, there may be multiple choice question. So other than green plants, what other organisms will involve in autotrophs? Blue-green algae, photosynthetic bacteria. Now I will pose a question. Now you want to remove odd one out. One is not related, three are related. The organisms which prepare their own food. First option, all green plants. Second option, cyanobacteria or blue-green algae. Third option, photosynthetic bacteria. Fourth option, last option, fungi. Which should be removed here?
Fungi.
Fungi should be removed. Why fungi should be removed? Fungi cannot prepare their own food. In this manner, three will be related, one will be not related to that statement. So you want to think which were very closely related, you want to remove the odd one. So like that, the questions may arise on autotrophs. So autotrophs, they prepare their own food by the photosynthesis. And what is the equation for photosynthesis? So I already told the raw materials are carbon dioxide and water. And after photosynthesis, it prepares the food. C6H12O6. What is this? This is glucose. A form of carbohydrate. Plus oxygen. Right? Along with that. Now, how do we balance the equation? Simple technique. Write 6 here. Write 12 here. Already 6 is here. And 6 molecules of oxygen. When you write 12 molecules of water, obviously 6 molecules of water will be released. If you write 6 here, you need to write water there. If you write 12 here, you want to write 6 molecules of oxygen, 6 molecules of water molecules. Now this is how the phenomena takes place among the green plants. So excess of water will be removed. Complete water is not utilized by the plants. Excess water will be removed from the plants. Okay. So we will get oxygen from the green plants. Green plants, cyanobacteria, photosynthetic bacteria, and these are called autotrophs. What are heterotrophs? The organisms which cannot prepare their own food, they depend on other organisms for the food. Example, all animals. All animals. There are different modes of nutrition like saprophytic, epiphytic, symbiotic,
parasites,
euchalastic, and parasitic. These are the different modes where the organisms cannot prepare their own food. They depend on other organisms directly or indirectly. Animals, they depend on herbs and other animals. Omnivores. Omnivores means, what are omnivores? They consume both plants and animals as food. Omnivores. What are herbivores? The organisms which depend only on the plants. Herbivores only depending on the plants. Carnivores depending only on the animals. herbivores, herbivores and carnivores. Saprophytic, they depend on dead and decay matter. They depend on dead and decay matter. Epiphytic, these are the organisms which grow on other plants. Epiphytic plants, usually orchids. Orchids. You can see in the forest, there may be beautiful flowers blooming on the trees. Beautiful flowers coming out, blooming, drooping from the trees. Those plants are orchids. Why they are blooming on the trees? They doesn't require soil. The question we asked from this, they doesn't require soil. They grow on other plants. They absorb the water directly from the atmosphere. How they absorb the water directly from the atmosphere? They have a special tissue in the roots. Orchids will have special tissue in the roots. And the question arises here. Okay? How the orchids will absorb the atmospheric moisture content, which is the specialized tissue meant for that. That is filament tissue. Filament tissue. Very important question. Okay? It may ask in multiple choice. Filament tissue, very specialized tissue, which have the capacity to absorb the atmospheric moisture directly. They doesn't require any soil. They can grow on other trees. And the roots will be hanged out, drooped out. Okay, got idea? Next is symbiotic. There are many organisms which undergo mutualistic relationship, symbiotic relationship. Mutualistic, symbiotic, synonyms. Both are one and the same. Same meaning. There will be two organisms. What were the two organisms? I'll say these are algae, these are fungi. Fungus, they cannot prepare their own food because they are saprophytes. Algae, these are green in color, they prepare their own food, right? What are lichens then? When you go towards the forest, in the forest, on the bark, tree bark, you may find algae-like green material sticking to the bark. Only in the forest area where there is abundance of moisture, not in the place in the cities and towns. Why they don't found in cities? The question may rise here also. Why lichens not found in cities? They are the best pollution indicators. They are the best air pollution indicators. Lichens doesn't grow where there is more air pollution. So forests don't have any kind of pollution, right? So they are rich with vegetation, rich with wild animals and very good ecosystem, and hence lichens grow abundantly in the forest. Why they don't grow in the cities, in the towns? It is highly polluted. Where there is highly polluted area, lichens never grow. So we won't find in the towns and cities. So lichens are the best air pollution indicators. One. The question may ask in this area. The mode of nutrition is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. That is, they cannot prepare their own food. They always depend on other organisms. Example, if you take one example, amoeba, which is an unicellular organism. Here, the mode of nutrition is by simple diffusion. The mode of nutrition is by simple diffusion. But if you come towards human being, in human being, so it is holozoic mode of nutrition. That is holozoic mode of nutrition. That means a complex organ system is found in human beings in order to complete the digestion. What were those? Mouth, esophagus, stomach, liver, pancreas, small intestine and large intestine. Now when we take the food by the process, chewing process, so we can convert the complex food into simpler. And meanwhile, the 3 pairs of salivary glands present here will produce salivary juice. And salivary juice rich with amylase. And amylase converts starch into maltose. Starch into maltose. And then the food is entering into esophagus. And how the food enters here? Peristaltic movement. And then enters into stomach. In the stomach there will be 3 actions. That is the role of pepsin, the role of renin, and the role of mucus. What is the function of pepsin? It digests proteins. What is the role of renin? It converts
soluble milk into insoluble curd.
What is the role of mucus? Mucus prevents the stomach, the inner wall of the stomach, prevents from the ulcers. It prevents from the ulcers. And there is one more thing, that is HCl, hydrochloric acid, is synthesized in the stomach. What is the role of HCl? It kills all pathogens which enters through the food. This is the function happens in the stomach. And here there is one more organ called liver. And this liver secretes bile juice. And what is the function of liver? They involve in emulsification of fat. What is emulsification of fat? A larger fat globules are broken down into small globules. Emulsification of fat takes place by the bile juice secreted in liver. What is emulsification of fat? What is emulsification of fat? It is breaking down of large fat globules into smaller one. And that happens by the emulsification. And then the pancreas secretes trypsin, lipase, peptidase, polypeptidase. So many enzymes were secreted by the pancreas. Now trypsin, what is the function of trypsin? It digests proteins. Lipase. Now whatever the fat comes from the emulsification of fat, that will be again simplified by the lipase. And then it enters into small intestine. Small intestine and rest of the digestion completes in the small intestine. Where actually the complete digestion takes place? In the small intestine. It may ask for one mark question. Complete digestion takes place in small intestine. And here there will be finger-like villi. And what is the role of the villi? It absorbs the digested food and it supplies to different parts of the body. And rest, undigested food enters into large intestine and undigested food materials will be removed from the organism. So this happens in human body. And next, let me go with another concept, respiration. Respiration takes place in 2 ways. That is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. So for any kind of respiration, we have one flow chart. That is, we get the food in a form called glucose, right? So this glucose enters inside the cell, and in the cytoplasm, the glucose converts into pyruvate. Glucose is the simplest food of the carbohydrate, enters inside the cell. In the cytoplasm, it converts into pyruvate. Where it converts into pyruvate?
In cytoplasm.
This may ask for exam. Where do this conversion takes place?
In cytoplasm.
And this pyruvate enters into aerobic or anaerobic respiration. Aerobic means in presence of oxygen. Anaerobic means in absence of oxygen. Okay, in absence of oxygen, where actually this takes place
In yeast.
And in muscles. And where this takes place?
Mitochondria.
Glucose converts into pyruvate. Pyruvate, in absence of oxygen, in the yeast cells, in the muscle gases, carbon dioxide and water. And this is known as aerobic respiration, and this is known as anaerobic respiration. So, where do anaerobic respiration takes place? This stands for multiple choice in the east. Where do anaerobic respiration takes place? When lactic acid is formed? Where? In muscles. And where do the pyruvate converted into carbon dioxide and water? In mitochondria. In mitochondria. This may ask for multiple choice. So next we are going to study on the concept transportation. Transportation carrying the food materials, oxygen to different parts of the body and supplied to each and every cell, and collecting the waste from the cell and removing from the cell. And this is known as transportation. And which is the major component involved in the transportation?
Blood.
So, that is blood. The fluid called blood. And in order to pump the blood, we have the organ. And that organ is called heart. And from the heart, the blood has to move to different parts of the body. And what is essential? Blood vessels. So, for the transportation, blood vessels are very essential. They play a major role in transportation in animals. Now, this is the heart. The size of the heart is one's left hand fist size, and 4-chambered heart, 2 auricles, 2 ventricles, and pulmonary artery and aorta, and here pulmonary veins. This plays a major role, right? The heart. This is superior vena cava and this is inferior vena cava. Now, deoxygenated blood, the impure blood in the sense carbon dioxide rich blood, comes to the right auricle and then right ventricle and then moves to the pulmonary artery. And from the pulmonary artery, it moves to the lungs. For purification. So, deoxygenated blood collected in the right auricle comes to the right ventricle, moves to the pulmonary artery and then moves to the lungs. Purification takes place. And then after purification of the blood, again purified blood comes to the pulmonary veins. It comes to pulmonary veins and then to the left auricle, left ventricle and then aorta. From the aorta, pure blood, that is oxygenated blood, is circulated to different parts of the body. And again, after respiration, oxygen is released, carbon dioxide is released. Again, impure blood is collected and sent to the heart. And for the purification, it is sent to the lungs. After purification, again collects by the heart. So, this is known as double circulation. So, how many times the blood flows to the heart? To complete one cycle, 2 times. The blood flows 2 times in order to complete one cycle. Hence, it is called double circulation. And like this, the circulation takes place in human body. And this blood is carried by the blood vessels. And blood vessels are three types: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Arteries carries pure blood, veins carries impure blood, capillaries connected to each and every cell, individual cell. But two exceptional cases: arteries carries pure blood except pulmonary artery. What kind of blood carries the pulmonary artery?
Impure blood.
Right? But all arteries carries pure blood.
Pure blood.
So this is exception. This is exception. So the question asked here: which is the artery which carries impure blood? Pulmonary artery. And all veins carry pure blood. All veins carry pure blood except pulmonary veins. What kind of blood will carry by pulmonary veins? Pure blood. But actually, veins carry, all the veins carry pure blood. But pulmonary veins carry pure blood. And capillaries, for each and every individual cell, the blood will be circulated and collected back. So what is the pumping arm? Blood vessels helps in carrying the blood. Blood comprise RBC, WBC and platelets. What is the function of RBC? Carries oxygen and food materials to the cell. And they are red in color because of the pigment hemoglobin. And WBC, it provides immunity. The WBC helps in bringing up defense mechanism, kills the pathogens present in the blood. Platelets, these are the fragments, small bits, helps in clotting of the blood. So these are the different functions that takes place in transportation in animal. And what about transportation in plants? In the plants, the transportation takes place by xylem and phloem. Xylem transports water from the root system to the different parts of the plant. Phloem carries food from the leaf to different parts of the plant. So xylem carries water, phloem carries food. How the xylem carries the water? By transpiration pull. And how the phloem carries the food? By translocation. What is translocation? The movement of soluble food in the form called sucrose from the leaf to different parts of the plant. And repeat, translocation is the transportation of food in the form called sucrose from the leaf to different parts of the plant. What is transpiration pull? It is a suction force created by the transpiration. As a result, the water is absorbed from the roots till the tip of the shoot, and that is because of suction force created by transpiration, and that is called transpiration pull. So in the transportation of plants, it is by xylem and it is by phloem. Okay, here excretion. It is a life process, very essential in order to remove nitrogenous waste. Excretion is very important in order to remove the nitrogenous waste. Which is the part, which is the organ involved in excretion? A pair of kidneys. Kidneys plays a major role in removing the nitrogenous waste. A pair of kidneys take role in filtering the blood. And which is the smallest unit present in the kidney? That is nephron. Nephron is a structural functional unit of kidney, and that takes place in removal of nitrogenous waste by filtering the blood. And the nephron has Bowman's capsule, and here there will be glomerulus. And the blood flows with high pressure, and here the filtration takes place, and the filtered blood enters here. And here elongated tube with high pressure enters into glomerulus, and here glomerular filtration takes place. As a result, the blood flows inside the tubules. This is proximal convoluted tubule, distal convoluted tubule. And here, certain nutrients will be absorbed by the capillaries, and the waste will enters into collecting tubule. And from here, so the kidneys ureters. From the kidneys ureters will collect the waste, and then it collected in urinary bladder and urethra, and the waste will be collected in the form called urine. The waste will be collected in form called urine. So this is how the excretion takes place in human. So nephron is a structurally functional unit, and it has got movements, capsule, proximal convoluted tubule, distal convoluted tubule, collecting tubule, and it, once the filtration completes here, it will be collected in ureters and then collected in urinary bladder and thrown by the urethra, and this will be in form called urine. And in the same way, the plants too excrete the waste materials by falling the leaves, by drooping the flowers, by drooping the fruits, and by the barks. It will be removing the excess of waste by removal of the barks, and also secreted and collected in old xylem. So these are the different modes how the plants remove the excretory substances.